What happens when you have too much vitamin D? That is a really good question to know the answer to. Now, with the growing awareness of how awesome vitamin D is for your immune system and so many elements about your health, more and more people are taking it. You may have even considered doing this yourself, but you might be wondering, since it's a fat-soluble vitamin, if you can actually get too much in your system, and what does that look like? If that sounds familiar, then you are in the right place because I'm here to answer that question in today's video, so let's get started. Hi, I'm Dr. Kelly Shockley, Doctor of Cause, chiropractic, board certified in sports medicine, and specialized in clinical nutrition. Now, in this video, I'm going to first be sharing with you 3 surprising benefits of vitamin D that you probably are not fully aware of. There is so much more that vitamin D does than just strengthen your bones and your teeth. Then we're going to be covering the risk you're assuming when you don't know your number. This is why if you're not testing, you're guessing. And then finally, I'm going to be sharing with you the most common mistake you're making when you're trying to get vitamin D naturally. Let's get started. Now, if you're sitting there on the other side of this video going like, okay, I have been taking vitamin D. I don't know what my number is. I'm not sure if I'm at risk or not, and you need to know the answer to these questions, then all you need to do is look for the link down in the comments below or up in my bio, and you will have instant access to the rest of the details. I encourage you to get these answers before you continue taking more vitamin D or before you consider adding it to your regimen. We'll see you on the other side. All right. What are 3 surprising benefits of vitamin D that you may not be fully aware of? These are ones that more than likely you haven't heard of. Now, vitamin D, we know, is great for our bones and our teeth. And because of everything that has transpired since, this pandemic has happened, we are understanding that vitamin D probably has something to do with boosting the level that our immune system can fight. But in addition to just dealing with illnesses like viruses and bacteria and you name it, vitamin D also helps protect against other diseases. All of the neurologic types of challenges that are out there, like multiple sclerosis, Alzheimer's, dementia, even things like ADD, ADHD, different mood regulation challenges, all of those can benefit and vitamin D can help protect against with the vitamin D. Something else along those lines is the dreaded C word, cancer. There is significant research that's been done about how anti-carcinogenic, meaning against cancer, vitamin D really is. So it's a huge win for making sure you have adequate levels of vitamin D. Now, somewhat alluded to this, but just to really share it with an exclamation point. Number 2, surprising benefit is vitamin D is amazing at fighting depression. I can tell you because I personally test all the patients that I work with, my patients who have been diagnosed with depression, like 98% of them have next to no vitamin D in their system. There is a strong correlation with vitamin D levels and if somebody is feeling depressed. So knowing what your vitamin D level actually is, and then supplementing it if you are currently dealing with depression, this will work far better than any of the antidepressive medications that have been put in place, or will work really well adjunctively as you work to improve the level of your health. Now, the number 3 surprising benefit of vitamin D is one that is so exciting for maybe more females than males, but not necessarily. It actually helps boost weight loss. I don't know about you, but I could use a little extra help in that department. So if vitamin D is going to help me get there, then awesome. I want to know that level. And I'm super curious. Did you know that vitamin D could do all of that for you as well? Just tell me your answers down in the comments below. Now, what is the risk you're assuming if you end up with too much vitamin D in your system? Basically meaning you have no idea what the current level of D is in your body and you just start taking more. These are the risks that you are assuming with that. The number 1 thing that you will see first is an increase of calcium in your blood. Now, when calcium levels increase in your blood, we're putting 2 major organs at severe risk: kidneys and heart. Hypercalcemia, meaning too much calcium in your blood, actually can cause kidney failure and lead to dialysis, and it can also create heart attack. those are probably the most significant reasons to know what your vitamin D level is out. You do not want to get too much calcium in your blood. The body doesn't do well with that, okay? Something you might experience before the dreaded outcome of hypercalcemia is you might notice that you just have more GI symptoms. From nausea to diarrhea to gas and bloating, any of the classic GI symptoms you might be experiencing just as a result of that vitamin D level itself starting to become too high. Now, something else that will be impacted by getting too much vitamin D in the system, which then creates too much calcium in your blood, is it can actually alter your mental state. Okay, you could start experiencing more depression or mood dysregulation, more irritability, even challenges with lack of focus and concentration. While vitamin D is incredibly important for proper brain function, too much of it resulting in too much calcium in the blood is also going to challenge brain function. So the bottom line is with this, you really need to know what your number is before you start increasing vitamin D or even just start taking it altogether. Now, this is easily accomplished through a blood test. You can get those done with your doctor. If you don't have access to that, you can always reach out to me. I can help you from wherever you're at so that you can truly know where is your vitamin D level. I will tell you the rest of medical wants you to be at least at a 30. Don't worry about the units. They are all universal. They want you to be at about a 30. Majority of the people that I test, even here in Colorado, where we have glorious sunshine, like 96% of my patients are deficient in vitamin D. If you go look at Google, we actually, over the past couple of years now through this pandemic, more people are taking vitamin D. So instead of 46% of Americans, it says 42%. But I can tell you, living in one of the most sunshiny states, 96% of my people are deficient in vitamin D. But at the end of the day, you don't know where you're at unless you test. So make sure you test your vitamin D level. That way you do not have to start assuming any of these risks that ultimately can destroy life and even take it. So big deal, guys. Now, before I get into the most common mistake you are unknowingly making when you're trying to get vitamin D naturally, I just want to take a moment and remind you to click that subscribe button down below, turn the notifications on, and hey, while you're down there, give me a big like. I appreciate you and your support. Now, here's the thing. I am producing videos for you on a regular basis. I am working to teach you everything you need to know to help achieve higher levels of brain health, to boost your immune system, to reverse diabetes. Ultimately, anything like just when you're feeling off, what you need to do to take back control of your health so that you can live life to the fullest and achieve what I like to call total body mastery. So again, just click that subscribe button, turn the notifications on, and give me a big like while you're down there. Awesome. Now, what is the most common mistake you're unknowingly making when you're trying to get vitamin D naturally? Well, here's the thing. Maybe you don't know how to get vitamin D naturally, but most people are aware that vitamin D is known as your sunshine vitamin because if you spend time out in the sun, your body will actually go through a process and make a usable form of vitamin D. But here is the challenge. Especially out here in Colorado, why are people really deficient in vitamin D? If I just told you that we live in one of the most sunshiny states there is, we on average have over 300 days of sunshine. There is a big variable here. What have we all been conditioned to do when we go outside before we actually go outside? We lather up in sunblock. The answer is in the word sunblock. It blocks out the sun. The way that you actually get vitamin D to a usable form in your body from the sun is you need sun's rays to actually penetrate your skin and then allow it to do its work. If you're putting sunblock on, you're blocking the sun rays from being able to do their work. So you're not ever going to get vitamin D when you're out in the sun if you are wearing sunblock. Now, we won't get into all the different details about sunblock in this video. We'll save that for another day. But just know that in order to achieve enough vitamin D naturally from the sun, you need to be out in the sun when it's at its high point. So basically noon. And you need to be out there exposing as much skin as you possibly can. Your arms and your face are not going to be enough. So expose as much as you can without getting into trouble, mind you. And you need to do that for at least 15 to about 30 minutes to give your body the ability to absorb those sun rays so that your body can start going through the process and creating that natural vitamin D level. Now, we're in winter at this time. It's not exactly what you want to do. So we might actually have to go through and supplement. Ultimately, we're seeing, because people are concerned about getting skin cancer, too much sun exposure, we're putting sunblock on. If you don't feel comfortable not being in the sun without the sunblock, then we definitely want to consider supplementation. But again, going back to that second tip, you don't want to start supplementing if you don't know your number. Now, how in the world can you figure out what your number is, especially if you don't have a doctor that's just easily available for you? I know that's become more of a challenge in today's current affairs. All you need to do is go down to the description below, click on it so it expands out, and scroll down and look for the link for Health Workshop. In this workshop, I'm explaining to you exactly how you can figure out how you can get your vitamin D level ordered, but then also, more importantly than just vitamin D, you can get a whole entire detail on how you are doing with your health. What do your organ systems look like? Wouldn't it be nice to know not only what your vitamin D level is, but what that blood level of calcium is? Maybe it's already too high, even though your vitamin D levels are low. And then if you're dealing with stuff like that, why? And how do you start creating a plan so that you can achieve high levels of health and know exactly that what you're doing is actually working for you? So that is what you're going to find out in that health workshop, and so much more. So just make sure you sign up for that. You can get started right away. And I appreciate you. I hope today was helpful, and I look forward to seeing you on a future video. God bless.